line. TSM starting on attack. Evil Geniuses on defense, which means EG will ban first. Which attacker are they going to get rid of? Let's find out.
This is definitely a map where you don't have to go for hard breachers, so Jackal seems like a good choice. It'll give him a lot more roam freedom, which is, this is very important on this map because it is difficult, and you really want to make sure you do that, especially, when you've got Nomad and Gridlock, for example, that can lock down roams. You really don't want to be tracked on top of that, but that still leaves Dokkaebi and Lion as well. But there at least goes one of those, so a lot of roam control operators now banned. So I expect heavy roam play, and you're not going to really get any of the roam operators banned on defense most of the time. It's really going to be those anchors, but Valkyrie is, not unexpected at all on this map. We also see it a lot on Consulate, but you really don't want those good outside cams. You also want to make sure that you can kind of control the map without getting spotted too much, but that's going to leave potentially cameras from either Yokais, or I was going to say Evil Eyes in this case, Echo being in play now. So I was going to say, the Valkyrie ban makes it so you don't necessarily need IQ as much, but then if you leave Echo on board, then you do again. So it seems like we've seen quite a bit of IQ play, despite, there was a bit of a dip after the grenades got taken away, but then it seems like once, Echo became a strong force again, had to go back to that. And there's the Gridlock that I mentioned. And of course, you got both Australian operators potentially being played if they're not six picked off of here, but the operator you were talking about there at the beginning, Mira potentially getting played here by Geo.
Yeah, so the Mira not being banned, pretty substantial. Of course, it's going to be the Valk coming in here. With a 6 pick off the Mira. Makes sense. So Mira is very useful. She's going to enable some more sites. Like, you can play Penthouse confidently since Mira's in play.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Kitchen's going to be a little bit more useful, or a little bit easier to hold because Mira's in play. But she's not going to... it's coastline, so it's not... It's not
like it was to border.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. All right. Now...
Kitchen start.
Yeah, Kitchen to start. No Mira brought. They 6-picked it to the Pulse.
I mean, that's not bad to sneak that in there in the sense that if they're not expecting that C4 play and they're trying to play control above and VIP and things like that, that extra C4 will definitely matter because a lot of teams are playing above now vertical control with the Buck and trying to play down and do the Kitchen and things like that. And so being able to stop that, I think, is not a bad idea because you've also got the extra C4 there from the Mozzie.
There's plenty of C4 right now on the defensive side. You said 2 of them. That's a really decent... It's like a nice balanced amount.
Yeah.
You got some options, but you don't have to rely on it.
You don't want to let a Chief get his grenades off there.
Is it weird to anyone else that Geo put a J in front of his name?
Yeah, it's thrown me off a few times because you only see the first few characters there.
When you're looking at like the 5 at the top, I'm like, who the heck is
J6E? Have to remember.
Oh yeah, Geo. Whoops.
Geo definitely is one of the players that changes his name pretty frequently.
He does. I think he changes it whenever possible, which is every 30 days, I believe.
Yeah.
Well,
on the calendar.
TSM setting themselves up right now with an Ashe and a IQ. No Zofia being brought. It's interesting.
It will be interesting, too, to see if Bolo can stay alive long enough, because he is tending to entry frag a bit with Merc. And if he dies early, that's going to give Young a lot of opportunity to play with those Yokais. But if he doesn't, of course, they've got to worry about it. But also it means, like, Geo himself can be spotted out. The Pest can be spotted out a bit more. So a lot of utility can come from Bolo, so he can't just rely on that Commando.
Speaking of hunting the Pulse as the IQ, Bolo coming up on the angle right now, trying to find Geo, who's playing by the Sunrise Bar. It's being droned by Merc, so there's that duo roam clear / entry that you were talking about. But Merc, because he's droning in Bolo, won't drone in himself. And NVK gets a freebie as Merc attempts to rush into Hookah.
Definitely a good start. We saw Merc really struggling on Monday, and I think that hurt the team a bit.
Yeah.
Already starting out with that again, so I think Merc's just going to have to find his stride here. Otherwise, it is going to have to be the Bolo show again.
And even with him struggling, they managed to draw against, what was it, Luminosity, right? Yep. Which is pretty impressive, gotta say. Jaeger hiding in the cocktail corner. Modiga could potentially have his barrel exposed here. He's got to be careful. Necrox will refrag NVK, who gets taken out in the hallway. Yokai drone coming into drone for Modiga, so he can rotate. He's got options here. Information being called out. He can get a free kill onto this Buck, and it is going to be, indeed, a kill onto Ensheaved. Sees the Tracers coming in from the balcony, and TSM are feeling very locked out right now, thanks to the roam from Evil Geniuses, as they isolate and deny entry into Hookah.
Yeah, that aggressive Hookah play, especially that early pick there from NVK, really set things up for this to work. I mean, Pojo getting the kill on NVK is pretty impressive, but that's the only one they've gotten so far. and now it's down to the 2 support players. So they've lost all their entry, and all they've gotten out of it is hookah pretty much, and now have to work their way towards Aqua.
Evil Geniuses, knowing that they have such a strong advantage, have fallen back, are playing it safe, and look at this call coming out from Geo. He knows there's one on Cool Vibes. His teammate holding the angle, Modiga will get his second kill, leaving just Jarvis on the blue stairs. There you go. The third for Modiga. A good round for him to start things off.
Yeah.
It's, of course, going to hype him up.
It was a good, it was a good show of like support provided for him in terms of intel. You had the Pulse and the Yokais both assisting him in making those kills, and it absolutely worked. It was a good way to kind of give him a chance to shine there right off the bat.
Yeah. So Evil Genius is a good start for all of their players, to be honest. I like the way that they were aggressively taking those fights.
Yeah.
They did not shy away from TSM. They gave no ground. When the hookah clear came in from TSM, because that was clear that that's what they wanted to take, Evil Geniuses put their foot down. They said, no, we're holding this. They moved yokai drones over. They doubled up on who was roaming by there. We had, I think it was NVK at the start. He got taken out, but then Modiga rotated over. So you've got that double down, that mentality. You've got that refrags. We'll keep holding what we need to hold. And it worked out very well for Evil Geniuses. TSM were not ready for it. They didn't have anyone in their own refrag positions. And they got punished for that.
Well, like you said, too, the way the droning went down initially, get that initial cost onto Merc, and that forced Bolo to have to try and enter as well, and it just did not work out for them. And you have to get into the map somewhere. If they're able to read into that early and make those rotations you were talking about, especially with the extra bit of intel, not to mention the actual drone denial coming out from Mozzie's pests, that really makes it hard. So there's not a whole lot you can do unless you get some of those early frags yourself.
Pojoman, of course, the star fragger on TSM with 1 kill in things.
Really highlight him.
One thing that really surprises me is that there wasn't a clear from Aqua while trying to take in a hookah.
Just really focused on that one entry.
What usually happens when you're trying to get control of... oh, wow. Merc running the new Evil Geniuses skin. A little bit of respect being paid there.
Nice of him.
Yeah. When you're trying to... it has the woo on it. When you're trying to... when you're trying to clear in through hookah, usually what teams will do is you'll pinch with Aqua, especially if it's just a roam. But that's not what we saw TSM do. This round, it's going to be a Sunrise take, but that's been given away now as Merc takes out the default cam, which was being used. MVK has left the game, which means that unless he gets back before this round is over, we will likely have a rehost. But due to the round being already in play, by a whole minute even.
If I'm TSM, I'm going to try and take quick map control because that's some of their map control now lost immediately, and they're going to have to rotate to cover it.
Due to the round already being in play, this is going to continue on, and NVK might be able to make it back, but for now, he's gone.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to end up having to rehost. Maybe we can make it back in before the next round, but...
that would be convenient.
I mean, they can consider that an early kill from TSM, and then following that up onto Geo from Merc, TSM could easily take this round if they have enough intel to play aggressive.
Yeah, well, Jarvis is going to get another one onto Necrox, and suddenly Evil Geniuses are, well, in a 2 versus 5. It's not a great place to find themselves, and Young will get the first kill for his team, playing the rock on sight, as Young does. C4 comes out from the mute, so not going to go far enough. It hits a pillar. Really unfortunate for him. Modiga just a little bit off on the aim there, missing every single shot onto Merc. Pojoman going for a plant, and he'll get it down. Bolo eats a little bit of damage from Young, but it's not enough. And TSM clean up shot. Because we have not seen NVK get back, it will be a rehost. So we're going to go back to us. Now while we wait for everyone to get back into the lobby and for the host to set up the settings for this match.
Yeah, luckily it wasn't too many rounds in, so hopefully that won't take a long time to do. But they are all in a team house, so it should be a situation where, it wasn't like a big internet loss or anything like what we saw with LG losing their
probably
power.
Just a crash.
Yeah, probably just a crash. It does happen occasionally, and hopefully that just means you can get back in, but they also have to start up. If they have to reboot the computer, it could take a little bit longer because they have to reboot, then start up, wire and things like that, make sure they're all set up for that, and sometimes it takes a minute, but that will give a brief pause as well for EG to really think about what happened that round, because it wasn't just the loss of NVK that cost them. It was also Merc getting his kills off, that kill into Geo starting things off, and then Jarvis being able to get 2 himself along with Pojo. Again, the support players finding opportunities early in these rounds.
It was nearly a flawless round, guys. They lost 1 player early on to the disconnect, but it was a pretty well organized clear and take into the site by TSM. So as much as it is demoralizing to lose a player early on, that was a good round from TSM. And yeah, we find ourselves at 1-1. That's nothing too crazy.
No.
So,
But it showed good coordination from both teams. The first round, we saw a lot of good coordination from EG in terms of capitalizing on the opportunities that they were given. But then same thing from TSM the second round. They were given an opportunity by being a 4v5 quickly, and then they capitalized on that, pushed in. They seem to have good coordination, good droning work in terms of actually managing to get good map control early and then continuing those kills forward. I mean, Young managed to get the one back, but then also the failed C4 throw. It fell apart, I think, and the dominoes fell quickly, and TSM capitalized on that. So I think if this continues, this could be a good match.
Certainly could be. I mean, it's looking like it will be. We've only seen like a couple little hiccups there, like at beginning the first round for TSM. The clear was a little bit wonky, but other than that, like it's been good, clean, and high-level siege, and it's entertaining to watch for sure. Hopefully we won't have any problems moving forward as once we get everything started up again.
Yeah, NDK's already back in, so.
Yeah, we've got everybody in the lobby, so it's just a matter of if we have the settings set up right or not. You know, when we load in, making sure everything's all proper, and then we should be able to get into round number 3 just as pronto as possible.
And of course, these teams want to do that because when you're rearing to go, you get warmed up for the matches, as I'm sure you know. Like, you don't want to get out of that state. You really want to get back in quick, and you don't want to take a long time to do it. So
yeah, if I do like a warm up and then I have like a 40-minute pause between the warm up and my match, then I just feel, I start to lose it. Yeah. So if I'm actually serious about a match, and I want to get into it and I want to stay in it.
Especially when it's a best of 1, right? Because you don't have to go 3 maps. You don't have to manage that stamina over 3 maps.
Yeah.
You can just put everything into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, it's the same for everybody. If it's going to be weighing you down, it's going to be weighing other people down. So don't.
It's just
do your best to manage it.
Yeah, it's a timeout to talk at that point, I think. And of course, the coach from EG is now over on TSM. So I imagine that
Gotcha's on.
He's going to be thinking like, okay, I see what they were doing because I just came from there. Here's what we need to change now that we're going to go into these next rounds. So I think TSM potentially could have benefited a lot more from that pause than EG.
So we're back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Coastline, round number 3. That was a pretty fast one, if I do say so. And it's going to be hookah, billiards, yet again. Since it was a lost round for Evil Geniuses, they can try it 2 times in a row. And you're right. I'm sure. Gotcha has a lot to say about what Evil Geniuses were doing just then. Yeah, I mean, since it's online, your coach, if you got everybody all in the same place, your coach should be like looking over your shoulder and going like, hey, do this differently, do that differently, if it's really necessary.
And unfortunately, I don't think TSM has a team house to take advantage of that at the moment.
I don't think so. But I mean, delayed advice, because there is a delay on this stream. But yeah, technically speaking, you coaches are allowed to like give advice.
At the very least, they're going to be listening.
Yeah, and paying attention, taking notes for next time. Yeah. If nothing else, if you've got a coach, 100% they're doing that.
Yeah, you have to at this point, especially at this high level.
So not all teams do.
Yeah,
not all teams do. And you know what? I'm actually starting to notice how drastic the difference between a team that has an analyst and a coach and the teams that don't.
Yeah,
like because you can tell how much thought is put into if you've got experience, you can tell how much thought is put into everything each of these teams do, and a lot of that thought isn't from the players directly; it's from the support staff.
Yeah, and especially when you see the counter strategy, right, where it's like we were provided that information,
right? And I can already tell, like going to this match, I can already see the amount of thought that's going into each and every one of these rounds. So it's good to see. It's nice to see, and you appreciate it a whole lot. It enables teams to play higher than they would be able to by themselves, and that's nice to have.
Well, I just want to see a lot of real-time adaptation, and Merc being able to survive a little bit longer the next round.
Yeah.
It's done, especially IGL's things like that too, to make those calls. But we're seeing TSM do a little bit better here, I think, on this initial entry, being a little more cautious as well, not to get those early picks. But there also is now not a yokai to be able to provide extra intel, just a little bit more denial with the mute.
Well, look at me clearing in here through Master. He's just got the marks and the drones from his teammate. He knows that there's someone playing at the top of main lobby stairs, and he's looking for that player. It's Modiga. He'll fall down to the main lobby. This is just a delay tactic from Evil Geniuses. TSM have to catch on to this at some point. And I'm sure they will eventually. Polo rocking that SSG charm. That's nice.
Definitely.
Now, don't forget to buy those pilot program skins. Of course, they do support the teams. Well, TSM in good control of above now, as they've cleared out all of Master, but they have to get into Aqua. That's where the site is. That's where the take's going to actually happen. They also have to be careful of somebody flanking them from their main lobby stairs. That's why these flank drones are going up right now.
Yeah, that whole luggage area can become a death trap if you don't really control it.
Yeah. PojoMan opening up the wall. That's going to give line of sight onto Cocktail Bar. It's going to make Evil Genius's Anchor's life just a little bit harder. Not the end of the world for them, though.
Good to see Bolo getting in this gadget usage as well, calling out a lot of information for his team, especially on devices they may have to deal with entering. Like, for example, the goo mines. You can't plant while the goo mine's in your foot. So if you try and rush in for a plant and you've got one of those in there, you're going to have to deal with that. Interestingly enough, the EE1Ds I don't think have gone out at all. As I say that, of course, there goes one from Jarvis. So no, actually you'd use one as well earlier. So I imagine that last one's going to be saved for the executor post-plant.
Well, opening up another angle, that's going to mean that when they're peeking into the site, they are not bottlenecked. Nice little bullet hole set up there by the blue bar. Look at the time, ladies and gentlemen. 35 seconds, E1D coming out, and it's a double rush onto Cocktail. PojoMan sees one, downs him, and Bolo finishes him off. It's going to be diffuser in hand of Pojo, but EG is making TSM pay for this site control. Geo trying to retake up the blue stairs. A little bit of a bottleneck here for Evil Geniuses. They have two players that want to get back upstairs, and PojoMan is saying, no, you can't. Be it down onto Merc. A little bit of damage eaten there by Geo, and it's going to be another kill there for Achieved. Or just on the floor for now, but he'll actually secure both of them eventually. Look at the time, though. Modica could deny this defuse plant and win the round. He'll get one onto Achieved and just barely miss the angle, but get the kill anyway. It'll be an easy disable of the diffuser and a beautiful 1-versus-2 clutch for Modica.
I really thought once Young died, that was going to fall apart for EG because they just didn't have people to be able to provide the coverage on that, to be able to fight that. Geo was stuck in a tough spot on the stairs. I had a feeling he wasn't going to be able to win in a fight, but Modica just coming in at the very end and winning those, catching people on rotations, catching Pojo just coming off a defuse. When you're in kind of a vulnerable position.
You can't blame PojoMan for planting on the pool table.
No.
The logic behind his plant on the pool table was that there was too much prep on the floor of the billiards room. He couldn't plant safely anywhere near there. He also couldn't plant on the cocktail side. Why? Because he was worried about anyone pushing him from the hallway, blue stairs, exposed to that. So he does the most sensible thing possible. He knows there were players downstairs. He tries to plant on top of billiards. If he had 1 or 2 more seconds to get away from the plant in the post, maybe that would have been a different round. But Modica rushed back to site. He got the kills when it was necessary and won the round. So good job to him, and nice round from Evil Geniuses.
So far, both rounds that the Evil Geniuses have won have been a lot on Modica's shoulders.
That's true. He got a 3K in the first one, at least 2 in that last one. Didn't see the entirety of the kill feed for him. But overall, a really good round for him and Evil Geniuses as a whole. It seems like Modica is fitting in very well.
Young also, I want to make sure, like between Young and those two combined, especially because Young was also providing a lot of intel support very first round for Modica with the yokai drones. And
he got 2 kills in this round. Young has definitely come alive, and Modica is a comfortable fit, clearly, on Evil Geniuses. And it's always nice to see when a roster change actually seems like it's working out, because usually when you make those changes, usually it holds your team back.
There's that warm-up period, and you just have to adjust. Roles start changing.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for example, I think Jarvis slotting into TSM took a spot that Crusher had and just made it a bit more flexible. There's those spawn peaks I was wondering about. Pojo going down early, they don't necessarily have to have the hard breach utility, but it certainly helps. And if Pojo drops early, that would be pretty bad.
He missed his impact there. Geo tried to impact. You could see it on the wooden planks outside where he threw the impact, the explosion radius. It was a nice try from PojoMan to challenge it, but I think he probably could have just played safe.
This is important, though, burning up a lot of time.
Yeah, at least he'll be saved, which means the hard destruction's not lost, right?
Yeah, but the other thing they have to worry about now is their diffuse carrier is very vulnerable. And if he dies in a compromising spot, they can hold diffuser and force all of TSM in a certain spot.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful not to do that. PojoMan will have to be careful, but considering he fell victim to that spawn peak, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It was honestly, I was surprised he got, that's really common spawn peak.
Yeah, that pool tends to have a lot of bodies in it.
I don't know about you, but whenever I spawn there, I always go wide for the staircase, and I try to play it as safe as I can, because there's like 3 spawn peaks. Nice kill here from Bolo to start this round off. Geo goes down, and this is a good start already for TSM, despite PojoMan's damage.
I like the good line there to make sure they can't get the refrag on that. And of course, the Legion going down early, always good. Now if they could take down NVK or Modica or Young, really, I mean, that'll put a lot of pressure on Necrox to slow things down.
TSM has top floor control for the most part. Not by Billiards, not by Aqua, but everywhere else. And what that means is they can start to open up from above. Now, Achieve just opened up an angle in VIP facing towards Billiards because he's trying to hunt the roamers actively. But it also means that he can't start opening up above Kitchen just yet because he has to be cautious of that.
Yeah.
Merc could actually just be working his way into sight. Young will take down Pojo Man finally, and that is exactly as you said, Diffuser down, but Merc is in a compromising position for Evil Geniuses, and he could do some work. If he lands his shots, he will. Achieved also able to get one. Young gets his second. Young coming alive in this round just as much as he has earlier. Merc gets another one from Insight and Achieved another one for himself. TSM clean up shop despite Young's efforts. And they'll take another round. That's 2-2 now.
I mean, they were in a spot where like they were a little bit weaker having Pojo being in a low health and then getting downed, but they just played off the aggression. Merc being just aggressively playing against the players as much as possible really worked out, getting those 2 kills down there. Just Evil Geniuses, they had some great flank positions, but it almost seemed like TSM actually took advantage of them pushing into them at that point or catching them on rotations.
No, they absolutely did. One thing that really surprises me is the way that Achieved played upstairs.
Yeah.
In VIP, he decided to open the VIP wall towards Billiards instead of just opening up above sight.
But then you saw him really cautious about sight.
Right. He was really cautious about sight. He was also cautious about the roamers upstairs. He challenged the roamers directly. And why? My reasoning and my thought process is he knew that it was going to be more relevant for him to deny the roamers from influencing the take into sight, and he knew that Merc was in sight.
Yeah.
So he thought to himself, okay, I don't need to pressure Kitchen. I just need to make sure that these roamers aren't pressuring Merc.
I felt
Merc
like
can do the work that's necessary.
Modiga is really what he's most worried about, right? Because what happened the previous round.
Yeah.
So it was almost like because you saw Achieve droning for where Modiga was and tried to deny it. Like you said, he was like, I don't need to put top floor pressure. I need to control the top floor in terms of those roamers.
And that's good awareness, really good awareness from Achieved to try and support his team there. Instead of going for the more typical, hey, I'm going to buck from above. I'm going to open up the vertical lane. Well, your teammate's already there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So good job to him. And
Good job to Merc as well.
Good job to Merc. Yeah, Merc did the work in the site. If he hadn't done that, if he had missed his shots, maybe got shut down by the smoke, we would have seen a very different outcome, I'm sure.
I feel like that's like the next hashtag. Merc does work.
He does, yeah. So, we'll see if TSM can keep that ball rolling. One thing I will say is neither team has been capable of keeping the ball rolling so far. It's been back and forth rounds. EG wins one, TSM wins one, EG wins one, TSM wins one. That's what we've got going on right now. So the first team to break away with consecutive rounds is probably going to be in a strong advantage.
Yeah. Especially with, like, a lot of times these come down to just one strong performer shifting the balance very quickly in the middle of a round.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is. This is definitely a star match where most of the players here, I mean, I'd argue all the players here are pretty well known as being like that player that makes it happen, that gets it done. So there's a lot riding on everyone's shoulders, of course, but there's also that also opens up the field for just incredible plays, like you were saying.
Yeah, and I think the support players are doing a fantastic job of supporting those star players. So we're not saying like one player is shifting everything in the sense of by themselves. I mean, like as a team, like a spearhead
or a trident. In the case of TSM.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So let's get a Kitchen defense again. We've seen 3 Kitchen, 2 Billiards defense so far from Evil Geniuses. They do not want to experiment with their sights that much, is clear.
I hear a lot more bucking going on this time, though.
Yeah, certainly. Roamer presence is, I believe, lighter right now on the top floor. We'll take a look. Upstairs, there are no roamers. Okay, so since TSM knows that there's no roamers, they can use the buck to greater effect from above because they don't have to worry about that upstairs presence. But look at that. MVK and Modiga, instead of roaming upstairs actively, have decided to try for a retake strategy. This could work out for them, or it could cost their team the round.
Well, the big thing they've read into is the line being brought instead of the gridlock means they can retake a little bit easier.
It definitely means that. I like the way that they're retaking as a unit instead of just one person on a flank. That is the right way to do these types of things. Good information from Merc is going to allow for a down through the wall onto NVK. They have a drone in Cocktail that is calling this whole flank. It's a bait from TSM, and it works out, at least to begin things. More spray through the wall, and Modiga eats some damage. MVK does not get picked up, but Young able to get 1 kill at the very minimal. Merc uses one of his breaching rounds there to make a hole in the wall. Modiga on low HP. NVK still down. Don't even know if they're going to try to save him. Young holding a tight angle. He'll take down Merc as well. That's 2 for Young, who is just treading through this match, trying to keep his team alive, and he'll do a great job of it. Necrox adding to the tally, leaving just Achieved in Master. With 15 seconds left, 3 lit opponents. It's just not likely to happen as he moves his way over to delivery door. and he will not even get into the building. A flawless round from Evil Geniuses, and the back and forth of this match continues.
And it's really all 3 rounds now that EG have won. Young has been the biggest supporter of that.
Young has been, he's been contributing quite a lot. I honestly think that through that round, if it weren't for Young, I think that we would have seen a bounce back from TSM because they really punished that retake up the top floor. We saw MVK and Modiga try to retake up the stairs, right?
It was a good retake, as you said, like teamwork.
It was a good retake, solid teamwork. They were waiting for somebody to push towards the Cool Vibe stairs. That push looked like it was going to work out, but then Merc shows up. Merc punishes them so much. He does a solid 175 damage between the two of them.
Almost finishes off Modiga by himself.
Yeah, and then following that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this round's over. TSM just got such a strong advantage, but then Young, meanwhile, he's just shredding them in the main lobby. Young is doing his thing, and it's working out great for him.
He's got double the top fragger there on TSM.
And also, I don't even think that's not even including the first round.
We had the rehost,
Yeah, we had the rehost. So 8 kills. Post rehost, I mean, we'll tally. I'll figure out how many kills he got before the rehost as soon as I can, and we'll figure out his total.
But yeah, he's showing up.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if maybe TSM should have gone for the ban on Echo instead of Valkyrie.
Yeah, maybe. Young's been really putting in the work for his team. And again, at that last round, I think TSM would have had it if not for him. So
absolutely.
You got to give some credit to the guy. He held him to main lobby by himself.
And he even gave away his position and just held it. Yeah. It really, I mean, obviously they shouldn't have pushed him. They shouldn't have continued to push down the stairs like that. Yeah. That was a bit of a mistake because your head is pretty much the only thing that's going to be exposed.
Or if you're going to do it, drone for the guy who's doing it. You know where he is, sure. But exact locations are more helpful than he was in main lobby.
Yeah. So he's holding it with an ACOG too.
Yeah. Well, all right, it's done now. That's that last round, and we've seen some pretty crazy rounds from both of these teams. Some really exciting stuff. This is the last round of the first half, and it's going to be a billiards defense. We've seen 3 billiards defenses and 3 kitchen defenses.
And to be fair, the hookah billiards has not been a great sight for EG, so this could easily go 3-3 because, yes, they won it the second time, but you saw that was barely due to Modiga's retake.
Well, that was a decently placed nade, but not well placed enough, as Gio only took a little bit of damage. Not the ideal result there for Achieved. He knows there's a player playing by the Sunrise Bar, and here comes the second. Decent bounce there, but no damage done at all, whether he knows it or not. One playing by the sofa, and it's going to be Bolo to take out an MVK, who is trying to support Gio inside of Sunrise Bar. Gio wakes up, though, and gets a double kill, as he's holding off TSM on exit and pink window. Bolo is going to need to get that refrag, and soon, or this is going to be a tricky round for his team, but it's not really his job. So now he has to adjust because of his teammates' failures. A nice double kill there for Bolo, going for the third. He knows him to be in Sunrise Bar. This could be a really easy one if he just gets the timing right, and he will. Perfect pre-fire, 3 for Bolo, a 4th confronting him from behind. Oh, it's looking like another potential ace for him already. Might be too soon to call it, though. He sees the Jaeger, goes for the shots, through the wall, just barely misses Modiga, who is rotated into the blue bar. Modiga sees his opponent just outside of that window, but cannot land the shot. And Necroc's the only anchor right now, with a whole minute for TSM.
Bolo's definitely going to have to make this work here, but they really need to work as a team to pinch this because they know where Modiga's at, they punish him for it, and now it's going off all on Necrox.
So no ace here for Bolo, as Jarvis gets that 1 kill. But Necrox is a clutch player. You got to remember, he's playing smoke. He's got 2 gas canisters, which means he can isolate 2 angles when the confrontation happens. If the timing is perfect, Necrox could win this. He is a player known to do so. Goes for an aggressive peek. Gets 1. Eliminates the drone. SMG-11, not much ammo, so he's going to need to reload here. But there he is, isolating the angle of the blue stairs, and he just barely loses out to the Habana. If he had won that fight, it would have been a solid 1-on-1 against Bolo. But he didn't. TSM will secure that round. Very well executed.
I like that the entries are just changing up each time, too, as you see TSM trying to adjust to what EG were doing. And that's why you saw that constant back and forth, just trying to figure it out. Also, them able to shut down NVK early a few rounds definitely helped out as well, I think.
Yes.
But it was just Young and even Necrox there towards the end, just the backbone there, able to hold it back. Gio as well has had some good moments, able to just kind of push off like a lot of those good starts from TSM. But now that they switch sides, I'm curious to see what the attack is going to be like from EG, because it looks like they're still going to go with potentially as much aggression, but they're going to bring Dokkaebi in. And I wonder, this is such a smoke plant site A lot of times, I mean, a lot of these sites are. Is he going to be bringing nades or smokes?
Yeah, definitely a good question. It's really up to you what you bring on Dokkaebi these days.
Yeah.
Between nades and smokes, they're both great options, and I guess we'll find out which one he decided to bring as the round starts up.
We saw a lot of good play with that earlier from Julio on Ninjas in Pajamas, for example, bringing it with the nades.
So, Young, pre-rehost, had 1 kill, which means he is sitting at 9 right now.
My goodness.
Yep. It's been, on the other hand, for TSM, it's been considerably more of a team effort.
Yeah.
To get them into this 3-3. By the way, this 3-3, no consecutive rounds at all. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Everyone just adjusting to each other, and that's what we were hoping to see.
Some good gameplay here, ladies and gentlemen. So far, an excellent match.
Well, now that sides have switched, though, it could shift around. Like you said, once one team breaks away, if they do, that could really kind of swing things just enough to make sure it doesn't end up a draw. I think a 7-5 is a pretty reasonable conclusion for if one team can figure things out.
Yeah, but we could be looking down the barrel of a 6-6.
Absolutely possible.
6-6 would be devastating for TSM. They need every win they can get. It'd be better than a loss.
To be fair, though, EG definitely wants to make sure they secure their spot for Japan because they just don't miss lands since group stages.
So the difference between these two teams is that Evil Geniuses finds themselves in second right now with 16 points. Dark Zero in first with 19. And TSM is in 7th with 5.
Yeah, they need this win.
They need wins whenever they can get them.
I can't see them getting relegated out either. Oh, that was a nice spray.
MVK through the wall, making it happen, doing some damage there, and punishing a rotation from Jarvis inside of Kitchen. He's not gotten the kill yet, though. Clearly, there's somebody making calls for him, if not himself, on the drone, and there it is. Yeah, the final call. Jarvis goes down through the wall. One in bathroom. Uh-oh. Melee hole spotted, and a freebie for Achieved, as he knows there's somebody behind that punch. He's going to rotate into the main lobby. There's one coming at him from security. That's Necrox.
He's taken out 2 drones, and he has the heartbeat sensor now, so he's at advantage here if he keeps him in range.
Don't even know if he spotted Necrox on the heartbeat detector, but the Yokai the phone call is certainly going to make enough noise for Necrox to know about him, and there you go. Achieved goes down to Necrox. Nice play from him. Achieved almost hit that shot into security on the pixel angle, but he just missed by, well, a pixel.
Yep.
Evil Genius is now finding themselves in the lead, thanks to Necrox's efforts, as well as MDK's. It's not over yet, though.
Now, we've definitely seen Bolo with some serious play on that dock last time. Definitely could come alive here any moment here. Hammer's going to get hacked, though.
That's big.
It's definitely helpful. I mean, if you got the opportunity to do it, why not?
No Valkyrie because she's banned. No Maestro because he's banned. And no, well, Echo, yeah. So there's nothing really to hack from Evil Geniuses here other than default camps.
Still, though, I mean, if you haven't already taken them all out, forcing them to is always good.
Yeah, 1 or 2 of them might be useful. It's nades, by the way, on Necrox, as you can see.
Oh.
Caught by an ADS. That's unfortunate for him. 40 seconds left for the advantaged team. Make that even more advantageous. Modiga picks up a double kill. Here's Necrox on possibly the last, and there it is. Evil Geniuses take the lead-off round in the second half.
Still back and forth.
And yeah, back and forth. No consecutive rounds just yet, ladies. I almost said ladies and gentlemen again. Say that too much. No back and forth, or no consecutive rounds yet. It's been a really interesting match of just constant, jumping. So we'll see if Evil Geniuses can now get 2 in a row, or if TSM now get their bounce back as they go over to Kitchen. By the way, so far we have not seen anything other than Kitchen and Billiards, and that trend is going to continue.
We're really just not going to see the other 2 sites, it seems. Especially if it goes back and forth like we've seen. Because it gives them the opportunity, depending on how the back and forth goes, to always be able to switch back and forth between those sites.
Back and forth?
Back and forth.
Really?
All right. The volley continues.
No, it has been a really weird match in terms of site selection. In that we just haven't seen a lot of variance there.
It's weird to me that TSM is not going to pick up the Echo either of these 2 rounds, though. I mean, obviously it's not part of their defenses. Like, they just built a strategy around Echo being potentially banned. Because EG was the one to have that ban that they used on the Maestro, the last ban. So they might have anticipated Echo being banned. They just had the strats otherwise.
Evil Geniuses, on the other hand, they definitely strategize around active droning with the Echo. So that's not crazy to see them using it when they were on the defensive side.
It was their choice on that ban.
One of the reasons why you wouldn't bring an Echo, of course, is because of the IQ being in play and how that will hard counter your...
It only did so much for Bolo, though. Because, I mean, Young did a lot of work on the Echo regardless.
Young is just really good with those Yokai drones.
Very true.
So that's just him being excellent on Echo, I think.
Well, these guys are all being a lot more cautious of that pool than Pojo was. Very understandable there. See how these entries are going to go this time. We saw a bit back and forth, especially on the entry from TSM. EG already had a pretty good one last round. See if they can do the same again this time. They're bringing in basically the same operators, if not the exact same operators. Same for the defense of TSM. So it's a repeat in terms of operators, but are they going to let them get away with it? Chief hasn't had a ton of really stellar rounds just yet, but he's looking for that opportunity, playing very aggressive inside that penthouse window. But no one wanting to give him a freebie. They're trying to at least drone as well as they can, but hopefully for the TSM's sake, the Mozzie is slowing that down a little bit to give him some roam flexibility.
Maybe. I mean, the Mozzie is seen as one of the most powerful information isolation as well as information gathering operators in the game right now by most people, and yeah, it gives you a lot more flexibility just in general, not only on the roam, but also just in terms of anchoring.
Well, so far they haven't been able to clear out the roamers, so it does seem to be helping at least a little bit. But they also didn't bring, a gridlock or anything to deny movement of the roamers, just the Dokkaebi to make those phone calls.
MVK going in for a rush on the top of main stairs, but it looks like both of the offenders have fallen back. Yes, indeed, they have dropped. Perfect timing for them. They've just delayed half the round, and it cost them nothing. We'll be back in the main lobby, which is actually decently a solid place to hold as a defender. Pushing down these stairs is not easy. Remember, this is where Young got, what, like 2-3K in the main lobby, just holding on to it. Necrox will be the first victim of Bolo.
Well, phone calls no longer available. At least one had gone off, maybe both. See, though, if they can use the drones to be able to clear them out. But it looks like they're just going to end up pressuring them, most of them back to site, try and push this from above if they can, because they're also bringing that buck.
Nice little prong there from NVK. He'll try and fake out the push into security using the drop down while pushing down the main lobby. He was spotted in that endeavor, and he's been spotted again. They know he's made it to the platform, so ooh, some bad timing here for NVK, I gotta say. And Merc will get away.
Chief playing it smart, though, just delaying.
Bolo goes down and finished off by Geo from above. That's the first pick there for Evil Geniuses, and it's big. Oh, wow, NVK, how do you even see that? Pojo Man goes down, or eliminates Young, pardon me. But it's constant back and forth in these kills. MVK absolutely tearing TSM apart, though. Perfect pivoting, and there it is, the final kill, also from NVK. That's 3 for him in the round.
That's 2 in a row now.
Incredibly accurate play with that R4C, you gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely, just nailing those shots without having to have an ACOG there.
And you're right, that's 2 rounds in a row for the first time, consecutive rounds. And it's on Evil Genius's side, which puts TSM in the worst position possible. Considering the way this match has been playing out now, EG are slotted to win.
I mean, to be fair, at this point, with where TSM stands in the standings, 1 point is pretty much equal to 0 for them in terms of where they're able to move away from, because the Sonics aren't really looking like they're going to move terribly far either.
Well, yeah, considering the Sonics situation, I don't imagine that they're going to be able to break free of their, last place. Anything could happen. I don't know. I can't see the future, but
I just feel like
doesn't seem likely.
TSM has to get a lot of points really to climb out of 7th.
Yeah,
and so
because they're at 5 and Rogue
1 is just about 0.
Rogue above them is in 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, they need to get a win here. TSM needs a win, and then they would be tied for points against Rogue. Let me see who has the tiebreak there. Rogue has the tiebreak, so they wouldn't even break free of 7th if they won here.
Yeah, definitely a tough spot to be in. And EG, of course, are definitely in a much better position. However, that being said, we definitely want to see if TSM could put up the fight here because, of course, there's a lot riding on them. I mean, you saw the community vote. A lot of people want to see TSM pulled together, and I think Merc's definitely having a much better night than he did on Monday, and so that's already good for them, but it's just not always turning into round wins, at least the last 2 in a row. Kitchen just did not work out for them. So they're really going to have to struggle to figure it out with Hookah. See if they, like you said, just going back and forth between those 2 sites.
Are we on Hookah again?
Yeah.
Wow, Hookah, Billiards, and Kitchen. The only 2 sites played through this whole match.
They just...
What the heck?
I mean, it seems like they just don't want to try the bars, which is... I mean, it's odd because the bars are pretty good sites still.
Yeah, Double Bar is a good site. Mira's not banned, so Penthouse can even be defended, but I wouldn't suggest it.
No, it's still not great in that situation, just with everyone having figured out a lot of attacks on it.
Yeah, it's not amazing. But clearly, just not a site either of these teams want to go to. So, hey, whatever. And that's their choice.
Interesting to see the line also getting brought out here from EG.
This is the powerful thing about Mozzie. It's not that he hacks the drones. That is a really nice thing. When you get a drone, fantastic. The most powerful thing with those pests, though, in my opinion, is just the fact that it stops you from droning cold. You just can't do anything until you clear it out.
It's the fact that you can't jump it.
Yeah, because mute jammers, you can jump over a mute jammer. You figure out where it is, you jump over it, done. With a Mozzie pest, it catches you midair. You can't do anything about it.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's a hard stop. So, Mozzie's such a powerful operator right now.
Especially with how much EG are playing Twitch as well.
Yeah. It also stops the Twitch drones, and you can't always zap those pests depending on where they're placed. Good information here from Odiga. He can see the Jaeger
stealth droning here
on the staircase, and he might be able to call that first teammate and allow for a pick.
Yeah, he's waiting just to get the right information to call on an actual peek happening.
Here comes Geo from below. He's not looking towards the stairs, but he's opening from below. Odiga will actually be taken. Merc down. So that's some good droning there from him. A staircase dies, and Evil Genius is just racking him up right now. Pojaman managing to get one achieved as well. So suddenly from a 5-on-2, it becomes a 2-on-3. So TSM still in this.
A lot of time left, though, for EG to make this work. I think they definitely can, especially look at how many drones they still have left alive, despite the pests trying to deny them. I think that could definitely work out in their favor. They just have to play this smart, just coordinate it. Although throwing a grenade into an ADS, not a great start to that.
That ADS, I believe, was actually above. Maybe shot it through the floorboards, but I could be wrong.
Well, that would be spicy.
That would be. Hacked drone.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Dealt with. Pojaman on low HP, but look at the time. If he's got gas canisters to spare, this is very winnable. Geo on Repel is going to be a very influential player, and he will get a kill on the Pojo, leaving just achieved. Odiga goes down to achieve, though. Known one inside of Hookah, but bad timing on that rotation. C4 goes wide, and Evil Geniuses, 3 in a row, match point.
Definitely a tough spot to be in for TSM. Like you said, they want at least the 1, but at this point, it's looking like they might get the 0.
Yeah.
Because EG, they're managing to find a foothold in these rounds and then pushing it. Yeah, they did lose 2 in an unfortunate trade back after getting that 5-2 lead, but still, it's looking like they're able to get their act together towards the end of those rounds, especially, and just start to pinch.
Is it happening, Devin?
I mean, we saw Slash pulling it off before. Oh, blue bar. I thought you meant the Nook, but yeah, they might sneak in the Nook as a 6-pick as well. But yeah, finally another bomb site. I mean, to be fair, they haven't been able to win either of them. This is the play, I think. Try this out.
Yeah, an experiment that could either cost them the match or allow them to continue.
I got to say, the one thing that they're not doing that EG was doing on their defense that I think was a big help was the Echo, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how much damage Young did. Yes, some of that was the help with the yokai, some of that just with his gun. But it is
definitely curious that we're not seeing an Echo being brought. Maybe they just don't have a player who's comfortable on it.
Entirely possible.
You know, I would imagine it would probably be Jarvis who would be thrust on that role in this scenario.
I don't recall seeing him playing a lot of Echo in the past.
No, I don't remember him playing Echo either, but it can't be Pojo because Pojo is stuck on Smoke, and Smoke is another one of those essential operators. So, and it's not going to be as much as I would say, like, oh yeah, you don't need a dock. You definitely you could take an Echo instead of a dock, or you could take an Echo instead of a Vigil.
Polo slays on that dock though.
Yeah, as much as I can say that, like these players, I can see why they're on the operators they're on. Yeah. That's the thing.
I just would I'd like to see Jarvis get a little bit more mileage out of the goose this round.
Maybe, yeah. If he gets enough mileage out of the goose, then maybe it will make up for the lack of an Echo.
One hope it will provide some extra intel and slow down. It's really important, though, that now Merc is playing that Vigil without an IQ in play to be able to track him. I mean, we don't always see that happening, but it is certainly some way that you can be tracked with the Jackal being banned. That is the only way to really catch him out, other than just droning him when he happens to be decloaked.
Yeah. Well, Evil Geniuses droning themselves into VIP. They're going to want to clear the roamers upstairs. Chief's going to eat some damage early on. From where? I don't know. But he has been put down, and Bolo will pick him back up. Not literally, but he'll heal him.
It's the thought that counts.
Evil Geniuses now have decent control on the top floor. They might have full control of top floor, and I think it only took them a minute to get all of upstairs. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're definitely making good use of this drone work, too, in actually taking control when they drone it, instead of just spending a lot of time droning and then not executing. So they're doing a good job with that part, but also TSM's letting them.
Yeah, it's a skill that takes a long time to learn.
Absolutely.
It's how to follow a drone properly.
Not die.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, if you drone something out and you call it clear and there's no one to actually secure it, then a defender can rotate in like 10 seconds after you leave that room, and then when somebody eventually does waltz into it, then they die to that roll.
Especially someone like Merc that's going to be on that vigil.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be the person who would do that. So the fact that Evil Geniuses are clearing and securing at the same time is really important. Angles open up here onto the Sunrise Bar, and Modiga did see somebody on the Sunrise Bar, but didn't shoot him, and that was Bolo. So Bolo gets away for free because, I mean, he just wasn't playing the angle at the time.
And great initial kill as well, taking out the line. Now they can move around a bit more.
Yeah, Necrox being eliminated is really important. So it's going to just no more EE1Ds. Modiga knows there's somebody at the bottom of blue stairs, and he's looking for that somebody. He just can't find him. It's a really bad angle play here. I mean, it's not his fault. He can't see through the wall like we can. He doesn't know.
Absolutely, but he has a sneaking suspicion if he could just get the right angle. Grenade's going to try to do some work for him here. Nope, he doesn't need him. But unfortunately, not finishing the job gives him the opportunity to move away, but NVK will finish Merc in the meantime.
Bolo is just healing himself, keeping himself alive. He has dodged death like 3 times now. NVK will be downed elsewhere. A drop from Modiga will work out for him, and twofold as he eliminates both Pojo and Bolo. Just Jarvis now, and he's playing a long angle from the bathroom. He'll get 1. He's got 2 lit opponents. The plant going down on default. Modiga's going to have to do some serious work up and close with this Lesion. I think Jarvis knows where Modiga is, though. Default plant's going to tell him where the other player is as well, but he just doesn't peek at the right moment, and that's GG. Evil Geniuses take the match. TSM close, but just not close enough. In the end, on the second half, it was all attack for EG. TSM could not win a defense, no matter where they went.
It was interesting, too, because the way those attacks went, they were just kind of picking them off a lot of times one at a time. It was never just like a huge steamroll, except for when it turned into that 5-2 real quick. But that got traded back, so it was just... It seemed like the defenses were there for the most part from TSM. They were able to show a lot of flexibility, pick off a few of the attackers on their entries in. But just that efficiency that we saw from EG, they never felt a huge amount of time pressure on a lot of those attacks because they were being very efficient. And that allowed them time to hunt roamers, to be able to pick people off one at a time, to put pressure on, but also a lot of good droning, I think, coming out and really utilizing that shock drone for some stealth droning. We saw him do that for himself on the blue stairs, Cool Vibes, to actually get that kill for himself.
So, all right. Evil Geniuses, having won that match, will put them in 19 points from their 16, which will put them tied for points with first place Dark Zero. But Dark Zero does have the tiebreak. They won the match earlier in the season against Evil Geniuses. So, no first place for EG, but they're close. And it keeps them in strong contention for Tokonami LAN in Japan. So, that's pretty solid.
Second place is all you need for that, and really it's all just about, towards the end here, it's about securing your spot in the top 2. You don't have to be that number 1. You just have to make sure no one can sneak up from behind you and leapfrog you in that spot. Luckily for them, Rogue hasn't really shown to be a big contender this time, so it's more about worrying about some of those other teams just creeping below there. But, I mean, Luminosity, for example, they had a huge amount of points, but a lot of that was the first half of the season, and they haven't necessarily picked it back up since then. But they did have an okay match on Monday, so if they can show up to today, that's where those top 2 teams have to start to worry a little bit more. If they can't, I gotta imagine if you're EG or Dark Zero at that point, you're feeling somewhat secure.
Yeah, we've got SSG versus Reciprocity up next, and that match is going to be a big determining factor on how first and second place are feeling about their standing in this season, because Reciprocity's in 3rd. Space Station Gaming is in 5th, but they're only 3 points away from each other. So if SSG wins, then first and second are feeling more comfortable, because then both Reciprocity and SSG are sitting at 13 points, which puts them both behind. If Reciprocity wins, then they're gaining on second place. They won't take second, but they'll get closer. So this is a big match for Rec when we get up to it on the next one. It's also a big match for SSG, because if they lose here, I don't imagine that they're going to have much of a chance at actually making it to the top anymore.
But all that being said, of course, there's a lot of those matches to still be played. But in the meantime, let's talk to someone from EG and see what they think about that match. Well, Modiga, your second interview already. You guys just started, and you're already hitting the screen as often as possible. Yep. But you had a really good day today. After the interview you said on Monday, you were feeling a little bit like just needing to catch up to speed, just calling a lot of intel for your team. It looked like today you were putting a lot more gunning down.
No, I felt a little more comfortable. I got my first play under my belt, you know what I mean? So, you know, just flying through. So, yeah, just focusing.
Definitely looking very good. It also looked like this time maybe they were calling out a bit more intel for you instead of you calling out a lot more intel for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I actually knew where people were this time. So I was like, okay, so since I know where they are, I'm going to peek them. So, yeah.
How are you feeling in that collect situation, especially the one where you had to kill the last 2 players and Pojo just finished planting?
How I felt that I needed to rotate earlier, and I was like, dang, bro, like everyone died on site. And I was, you know, just hoofing my way back to the site, and then they just were there for me, you know what I mean? I saw both of them, so, yeah. It was good timing.
I thought it was interesting, too, that you guys specifically played the Echo a whole lot and worked in your favor quite a few times, especially.
Yep.
But it didn't seem like they took advantage of it. Were you guys specifically hoping that you were going to be able to play the Echo and just drop that last ban the way you did? Because it seemed like they weren't ready to play it at all.
No, yeah, I thought they were going to play Echo, but they didn't, so I don't know. I mean, we just banned what we banned, and then, you know, they just never played it, so... You know, we played IQ, and then they just picked off of it. And then after that, we just realized they weren't playing Echo. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to bring Twitch. You know?
It seemed to work out pretty well for you, especially joining there towards the end. Definitely a good choice. And obviously the F2, a pretty lethal gun, it seemed like you were able to take advantage of quite a bit.
Of course, yep, exactly. Yep, that gun's busted. It's good.
It was interesting, too, that despite the back and forth, you guys didn't seem to want to switch over to Bar or Penthouse, despite Mirror being available as well. Were you guys just feeling like you could make the adaptations you needed to make those sites work? Or were you just like, well, let's just stick to our primary, to our strengths?
No, yeah, we were just adapting, you know what I mean? We saw what they were pushing. We knew, you know, the weak points, obviously, in their attacks, and then we just exploited. So, yeah, we just kept with, you know, we just played our game. We didn't think too much about what, you know, what they were thinking, right? We were just like playing our game, doing our stuff, you know, keeping it simple. So yeah.
Right on. Did you feel like they were able to adapt to you guys a fair bit as well, forcing some more adaptation out of you guys?
Yeah, when we were on defense, yeah, it was they were able to adapt pretty well. But when we were on attack, you know, that map's more of attacker favored, it seems like. So at least that's just what every team looks like when they play it. So we got on attack and we were pretty dominant. So that was good.
Well, anything you want to say to your growing fan base as well as the fan base of EG before we sign off here?
Yeah. So everyone wanted to know if I was queuing for ranked that one interview, and yeah, we're about to queue for ranked. And then another thing is, I don't know who calls me mod, but somebody calls me mod. It's Mo. Simply Mo. Just Mo. You know what I mean? If you don't want to say my name, just Mo is just super simple. You know what I mean? Mod is like, you know, I don't really like it, but yeah. And then I would just like to say thank you for everybody, you know, showing up to support us. I appreciate it. We're just going to keep practicing, obviously, keep doing what we're doing, just focusing up, good or bad games, win or loss. We're just going to keep on grinding, and I have a lot of faith in this team. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations to your second win in a row already coming onto the team here.
Appreciate
we look forward to some more interviews with you, I imagine, in the future. But you have a good rest of your night, and look forward to enjoy the rest of the matches.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Peace out.